that we can get as much possible as the outcomes that would require to get. Otherwise, it's quite a very difficult, so to speak, an environment. But however, we are working and learning in terms of an integrated government thesis from some of the lessons that we have in the past.
Thank you, Mr. MEC. I want to add just three. There's three other questions. The first one is coming from Media 24, Karaliskian. How many schools still need their LTSM? How many schools will not open tomorrow due to rain or storm damages? How much is estimated for repairs overall? How many kids still need to be placed in the Eastern Cape? I think you have already answered that one. The second one is from Mtata Fever, Babalwandlanya. The first one is, Mr. MEC, I want to find out about Kwili Primary School in Tata that was locked by a contractor in October, stating that the department failed to pay them or their monies. Since we are opening tomorrow, what is the department doing? And how long will it take to resolve the matter? The last one is from Algoa FM. Olwetu. Figures of damage amount. Okay, let me put it this one. The scholar transport issue, I think you have covered, Mr. MEC, because we wanted to know about the scholar transport issue. The second one is the nutrition. Some schools complain that they have not been paid yet. What is the department's plan? Also, there are still EAs and GAs that were not paid. What is the department doing to ensure that those get paid? I think those are the most recent ones. Thank you, sir.
Mhlambi ke Mr. Mchit, sorry, Mtima Mandi, Tatenje one, then SG will come back. Kulendi ne contractor nezazikolo zaseQwili, if I'm not mistaken, Mthatha. Guys, we have been on the media about that one. We all know not even a cent that person. That person has contracted with Mvula Trust, not with us. Till now, we have contracted Mvula Trust on this particular matter. And they agreed in terms of their own level of agreements from a construction point of view in terms of ratings. And when they disagree now, they then put us on the spotlight on the basis of us isikolo sesethu musayiso samvula trust ayiso sakhe nayo. But what I can say to you is that this is a matter that we have elevated to the Hawks as well, because there is no way that a service provider can just close a school. Yakugqiba uvala isikolo ifuna umuntu othethayo. Izazi ba ina contract nawe. In a contract nomvula trust. Xa ixelelwa ngumvula trust into yobana kaloku nantsi into ubuyisayinile kum namntu uyi-implementing agents. Ne? Iqhankqalaze yenze yonke laa nto yenzayo. Xa kusithiwa makuyiwe legally ecourt ibaleke ingafuni ukuya. Yabona ke, there is one thing that you must know today. I-service providers lapha e-Eastern Cape ziqhelile le nto obamba urhulumente ngobhongwane. And they are going to stop it. Watch that space. Yenye yazo le. Because ziqhelile laa nto yokubamba urhulumente ngebhongwane, that they determine what they want and then government must hold the line. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We have sent law enforcement agents to arrest that person in the first place. Because noba bebexabana ngantoni nomvula trust abana skolo. That's where I am. Skolo must operate. Whether baxabana bangantoni, skolo sona must operate because thina banikazi beskolo akho nto isidibanisa nabo. That's one. Two, uba kukho issue, they must go back there in the court of law and resolve that matter. Because it can't be right that government is held at ransom on the basis of implementing agencies not agreeing with the subcontractors that they have appointed. And in the process, now government is unable to execute a constitutional mandate. Ayingomdlalo into abana abantwana bajike egate because nina nixabana ngemali. Nixabana ngemali, by the way, for that matter that you signed. Uba nizaqhubana kanjani. So I'm saying it's a matter that we don't take it light. We then said the Hawks must further probe it, and so that we get deeper to this matter. So that singathi basidilishana nomuntu othula amaphahla ezikolo. Kanti wothula lamaphahla ezikolo because une support of a particular individual kule process. And some transactions have happened on this matter. Then we have instructed them that make bambizi. But khawuzo ithetha apha kuthi man lento uhamba uyithetha apha esitratweni. Right? Lento uhamba uyithetha apha esitratweni nesikolo nokungabhatalwa kwakho, khawuzo ithetha apha kuthi ngoku. So that iyeke uba ku Facebook, namhlanje ndiyibonile apha ku Facebook. You know? And that behavior of wanting to run away from law enforcement agencies and seek public sympathy on Tagari stance is going to stop. It's going to stop. I just wanted to tell you now. Uba unento kuhulumente uzawuza kuhulumente ni engageane kulonto ikorekishwe. Awuzukuya ko Facebook ufuna public sympathy on Tagari issues. What is the meaning of government paying for a thing that has already paid for? By the way, government has paid for those schools. So if there is any hiccup between Mvula Trust and them, they must sort out there. Not here. We want schools here. We want our kids to get into school, and we don't want to explain ourselves for their own deeds that must be managed elsewhere. So I'm saying, I feel I must clarify this thing once and for all, because imani siza lento, imani phuma, imani ngena, iyafana ke SG lento ubuya ijonga. Nalanto yesasikolo sasemcheni sakutsolo sasakhiwa ngo-IDT, only to find that the department paid IDT. IDT prioritize other projects, and now we must explain to the public why isikolo sisiwa, why isikolo must be rebuilt, a school that the department has already paid 20 million about it. Sasemcheni buyayiqaphela la as articles there's Puma about 2019 and 2020 about Mcheni Senior Primary School of Tsolo. It's the same thing about this thing. And I'm then saying, kuzawufuneka urhulumente simrane ngendlela noko eyirespektayo imali yabarhafi. Singazi nezimbo apha, izimbo zishiyeke phaa egeyithini, then kungene umuntu ngaphakathi endlini. Please. Enkosi mdini.
Thank you very much.
I just want to quickly respond on the issue of the payment of EAs and GAs and schools. It's an issue that's coming. I think we've covered all the other ones. I must go back to the audit finding of the financial year as Pumakuyu when I talk about EAs and GAs. Because it's easy ukuthi siyibamba phesiqweni bababhadelwanga without knowing ukuthi kwenzeke ntoni, so that we lay this thing to rest. One of the findings, you will remember that the EAs were paid in the Eastern Cape last year through the PERSAL system. PERSAL ke ngakahulumente ubhadala umuntu, you create a PERSAL number on the system because we avoided taking money to schools. The reason we have been avoiding taking money to schools, this is a presidential initiative, this is a grant framework. Each department has been trying to clean up the system. Now, with the payment of EAs and GSAs, one of the audit findings that we received as the department, which is a negative for the system, is that AG discovered that there was a cartel of young people appearing in various provinces. So this cartel of young people ingenwe ngamaphara into EAs and GAs, appearing in different provinces. So the duplicates in the system make it difficult. The data that you are going to be using to pay these people is difficult. Now, what the presidency did is to interface with Home Affairs, EIDs, so that as you are submitting payment yako ne ID yako, ivele uba ivele, because we can't detect it at Eastern Cape kanti lo mntu khona nase KZN. So as the system was doing that, preparing for their payment, we picked up these duplicates again. And what that system does now, it rejects the whole batch for the whole province. If you get a payment and they pick up 2 or 3 duplicates, uba singona let impute, koda EID to E1, koda bathatho na let impute apha kule system, it throws out everybody. So elements, the opportunism created a problem for us, and I want this to be known. Ukuthi if program enzeka efunekayo, it affects abantwana abangenzanga nto, but because we are talking about government funding, it is not nice that you get an audit finding as a province for paying duplicates. So it kicked them out completely. Now, as those were happening in the system, we get delays because we must upload, until at a time before Christmas when we realize, because every time we pick up the duplicates, it means that we have to go back because a batch for payment. Now we said the only option that we have is to go the route that we did not want. We did not want that route. Eyo principal is going. Because we learned from our first phase, SSTs is going. Instead of being paid this amount, or principal would not pay them the SGPs. We did not want to be involved in that discussion, as we are doing right now. There are schools that have been paid, there are principals that are unavailable to pay, which is what we are dealing with. To set out a circular that disciplinary processes will happen if monies have been deposited. Now, there were 2 things to be done, payment EAs. Because each department deposited the last tranche when schools were closed, we understood that isikolo azikavuli. So le mali besi deposit here for the last tranche ikhona esikolweni. Because remember, xa si deposit imali, siyayazi ukuthi allocations zithini na. Now, some of the schools get indicated that they have issues with monies, and the rest of it, and this is what we prioritized. But we said, let schools use the funding that is there. Now that there's this debacle, and this is why officials were put on suspension, when we paid through schools, there was an issue of where schools were supposed to receive funding, they received less than that amount and the rest of it, which is what we are trying to manage with the provincial treasury. But I want to say this. Any school that is not providing the bank proof, this is the amount they received, balibazi abantwana. Kuba sifumanisa ukuthi isikolo esifumene imali bengasikifumanga, they are quiet. Sivukelwa ngabantu ilonto ke izenzo sizithethayo ukuthi we are not able to process quickly the payment because it depends on whether the school has submitted that now. Now, schools that have submitted, we've uploaded. Treasury, who is the final presser of the button? We were discussing earlier on, they must release that function because ngabo app abas provided, because the app that we were using is an app that was not in line with the national system of payment, because Treasury gave us that app now because bathi eyethu is not what they can interface with. Because it's a new rule, as we pay, we can align imali the payment. Now, when you are cleaning the systems, you must be able to do that. We must clean the system yet. And unfortunately, as we clean the system, it will have a cost, and we apologize for that. It is important that the verification process says, if 10,000 money, it should make it difficult providing a bank statement, 10,000 rand. Sivuliwe ke isikolo. Principal bebesiba seholdeni. Sivuliwe isikolo. And anybody who misuses that allocation that they've been given for EAs and GSAs, the law is very clear in terms of our side what is going to be happening to people. So we are saying we are making sure the verification process is almost complete. We are waiting for the banking details of those schools that are not verifying how much money they've received. It's interesting, but as the more we see the bank details of schools, the more we are realizing that we must come closer to our schools. We want to make that known. A particular layer that we can't touch. kuba sensitive about schools, it is not working for us because we have received numerous reports, even from anywhere and everywhere, about how, as we transfer money to schools, there is no monitoring. Now, monitoring means that we even monitor what has been put into that school and what that money is used for, which is very annoying for some people, but we must do it, as we are doing with all the systems in the department. So we have committed as the department, we use all the rands January, but Treasury has said to us, they will assist us with going back to PESAL as we went last year. We were criticized for PESAL last year. We were the province that received an award for the payment through PESAL because it was a clean process. And people complained using PESAL. That's why we changed this year. And now we are hoping that the lessons that we are learning as the system, because this is a new program, are teaching us nazi loopholes of this system. But from February moving forward, Treasury is saying, let's go back to PESAL, and they are going to assist us on that one. So I just wanted to say, we are on the verification processes, and everything that we are receiving, we are uploading it on the system that we are using. Thank you.
Thank you very much, colleagues. The meeting is adjourned.
Portfolio
the briefing has been done. Can the MEC be available quickly, because we are going live on NCA quickly? And then the SU also attend to SAPC and others.
Can it be very quick, because we are waiting for good portfolio committee?
Oh.